But the reality is that sometimes I don't want to get out of bed, man. And on those days where I feel like I don't want to get out of bed, man, I'm thinking about my why. I'm thinking, and I have two whys. You know, I don't know how many whys everybody else has, but I have two whys. My main why is my why number one is my wife.
Oh, Miss Inspire. I love
that's
her.
right.
I love
Mrs.
her.
Inspires, that's right. My wife, Mrs. Inspires, go follow her. She's amazing.
She's amazing.
And then my two sons, right? My two sons, Elijah and Zion. They're those three people are my why. That's why I wake up every single morning and attack life the way I do. That's why I wake up even when I don't feel like getting out of bed. That's why I get up anyhow, because they, you know, they only eat what I kill. And if I don't get up and kill something, then they don't eat. So I got to get up every day to kill something so I can feed my family, right?
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your leadership coach, Glastinne, and welcome to another episode with Leadership with Glastinne. I'll take your leadership to the next level. Tonight, again, my special guest is Jose Flores, the mind disruptor. You will see why they call him the mind disruptor. He's not this man. I mean, I'll let you guys find out. But I'm gonna just give you a hint. He is a beast. He's a beast, man. You are going to love this. Jose is a very motivational but inspirational leader. And I wanted him on tonight to set the stage for a project that I'm about to launch about mental growth, that growth mindset. And I don't want to give it away because he's way better than this than I am. And so I'm gonna let him I'm just gonna let him tell his story and just flow with it. He's a teacher, so this is one of the easiest interviews because I'm dealing with an expert in storytelling. So, and also before I forget, if you have not picked up a copy of his book, go ahead and pick up a copy of his book today. You will not regret it. You will not be able to put this book down. I assure you, it is full. It is full of gems, starting from the foreword by Les Brown himself, Jose's mentor. Get this book, y'all. It's been rated the bestseller on USA Times. Get this book. This is a very great read. I mean, I could not, you see, I got like, tabs on every page because it's just the way, the spirit of the book. You got to get it. You got to get it. I can't even explain to you. So you got to get it. It's called Don't Let Your Struggles Become Your Standards by the mental giant himself. One of his friends, Keith, said that he was a mental beast by the mental beast himself, Jose Flores. So you got to get this book. All right. So now let's without further ado, let's get Jose on the line so we can have this conversation, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Here we go. Hey, there he is.
What is going on, my brother?
What's going on, Jose? What's going on? I hope everyone could hear us loud and clear. If anyone has any problems, just let me know. I know sometimes Instagram is funny like that, but Jose, man, welcome, man. Thank you. It's
my pleasure, man.
I was looking forward to this opportunity, especially after reading your book, man. I mean, it gives us, it gives the reader such a sense about you. It's like we've experienced you, and it makes everything in our lives, like some of the things that seem so gigantic in our lives, they become so small after reading your book, man. I mean, give us a little bit of background about yourself, Jose.
Yeah, well, that's exactly why I wrote the book, man. And first of all, thank you for having me, on your live and exposing me to your audience. I appreciate you having me on, man. And thanks for getting the book and supporting. And you just went through my Mindset Takeover Mastery course also. But that's exactly why I wrote the book, man. I wanted to give people like an inside behind the scenes of what it is to live life in a wheelchair, and some of the struggles that I had to go through, some of the mindsets that I had to endure and then overcome at the same time. And so for those of you that are watching, you saw the book. I'm in a wheelchair due to a condition that I was born with called Spinal Muscular Atrophy. And basically what that does is the older I get, the weaker my muscles get. So, you can imagine, like the doctor said that by the age of 15, I'd be in a wheelchair, and they weren't even expecting me to live past my teenage years. But through the grace of God, man, I'm still here. This year I celebrated my 43rd birthday, brother, and I'm still kicking life's butt. Yes. Yeah, man.
That's incredible, man. That's incredible. But here's one of the things, and I want to get into this story because I do not want anyone to get it twisted. Jose is a beast. Don't let the wheelchair thing fool you. So I want to get to this story. I want to get to the story about the refrigerator, the puppy, and his son, because there's a lot of us out there that's going through it. And this pandemic, and after this pandemic, we've lost jobs, we've lost relationships. We're trying to open up new avenues for ourselves. We're trying to open up new businesses, and it's just everything seems to be slipping out of our hands, and we don't know what to do, and we don't know if we're going to make ends meet this month. There's more months than money, like they say. And you know what, Jose, I read your story, man, and I just want you to tell my audience, man, how you did it. Give them some of that feedback from that story about that refrigerator, man.
Yeah, man. And, I'm glad you brought that up because, stories like that put a lot of things into perspective for a lot of people, right? Because like you said, people are losing jobs and, everybody's dealing with their own different set of challenges. But, there was this one particular day where I was home. My wife had went out and my son was in the other room. And I had just bought my wife this brand new puppy. And she loved the puppy, and she had gotten these little treats for the puppy where you put the peanut butter in it, and then you put it in the freezer to kind of get it real cold, and then you give it to them. And so I was trying to give the dog the little treat because he was a good boy. He went potty on his potty pad, right? And I wanted to go and get the treat out of the freezer. So I have the type of freezer where the doors open up, like French doors on top, and then you got to pull the freezer on the bottom. So, as you can see, I can still move my hands. I still have somewhat of a grip that I can, use my fingers, but then it's not really a tight grip. And so in order for me to get that treat out, I had to grip the bar to pull the freezer out and then grab the treat. Brother, man, I was there for like about 15 minutes.
I don't mean to laugh, but it's funny.
No, it is funny. When you think about it, hindsight is funny. I was even laughing with my wife afterwards when I was telling her the story. But man, I was there for about 15 minutes. No lie, 15 whole minutes trying to open that freezer. And I couldn't open it, bro.
Wow.
A freezer.
Right.
I mean, let's think about it. Guys, I'm talking about a freezer.
Yeah,
I couldn't open the freezer.
That I just walk up and I just take it for granted. I just open it, close it.
You don't even think twice about it.
I don't even much think twice about it.
So I was literally there for 15 minutes fighting with this freezer, brother. And so my son is in the other room. I could have just easily called my son and I say, hey, I need your help. Open this freezer. I want to get this. But there was something inside of me, man. There was something inside of me that said, you can't stop until you win. You got to get this, man. And so I tried multiple times, man, to grip that thing. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go old school with it. I licked the palm of my hand, you know, to get that little spit on it, to get some grip. Man, I gripped that pole on that freezer. I yanked it. I pulled it up. And I yanked, yo, bro, and I was tired already, man. So you can imagine me, like with my muscles, when I try to do something physical, my body is already dealing with a condition that weakens my body. So when I'm trying to exert all the energy I can to do a small task like that, after 15 minutes, bro, I was wiped out. But I put that spit on my palm, and I said, I'm going to give this thing one more shot. And I grabbed that thing, bro, and with all the energy in me, man, with all the little bit of strength that I had left in me, man, I pulled that thing. I opened I opened that freezer. I grabbed the treat. I gave it to the dog, bro. And I was just ecstatic, my man. I was like super excited. I was like, yo, I freaking did it. Yes, you ain't going to beat. I was talking to the freezer like, you ain't going to beat me. And, man, I was just so excited, bro, because that's the type of mental toughness and the type of mental resilience that we need to be able to develop. And you mentioned growth mindset, right? Back in the day, man, before I became the mindset disruptor, I would have easily gave up on something like that. I would have easily looked for somebody to help me because I was like, man, I'm not going to deal with this. Hey, can you come help me? But there's something that I've developed over the years, man. While I've been losing the ability to move physically and my strength, I've been getting stronger mentally.
Yes.
I've been gaining that mental toughness, that mental resilience, that mental strength that says I won't stop until I win. And that's how I am in all areas of life, bro. Not only in my personal life, but in my business, in my relationships with people such as yourself. And if you have any type of attachment to me, you're gonna know that I'm going to give it all I have, and I'm going to go all in, and I'm not going to stop until I win. I mean, until I absolutely exhaust every single option there is, and I have to ask for help, then I do what I got to do, right? But until I get to that point, man, I'm trying to figure things out. I'm trying to put things together. I'm trying to think outside the box. I'm trying to be creative. I'm trying to see what I can grab that might be able to help me get some leverage in, and that's how I live my life, man, on a daily basis. And that's just a small, it might sound like an insignificant small story about giving my dog a treat and opening up the fridge, and people can laugh about it, and and they think it's joke and it's so funny. But it's a huge thing, man. When you really put it into perspective, it's a huge, to me, and that was just a couple of months ago. We just had the puppy for about 5 months, 6 months. And so that was just like maybe a month into us having the puppy. So that wasn't too long ago. But man, I tell you, man, there's little things like that that's happened over and over and over in my life, where I just learned how to say, you know what, Jose, this hurdle that's in front of you, this challenge that's in front of you, this adversity, this struggle that's in front of you, you're not going to let that defeat you. I'm not going to let it defeat me. And I'm going to continue to figure out a way, find out a way on how to do things. Like, for example, I can't even lift my arms above my head, right? So if I want to scratch my head, I got to use 2 hands. Like, I got to use my one hand to hold this hand up and scratch.
Right.
When the normal person would just not even think about it and just
scratch their head.
You know what I'm saying? Or grab a cup or anything, right? And so, you know, I always like to use my life as an example, because I think that the wheelchair is a key component in putting things into perspective for other people. When I speak at different events, different organizations, I put a lot of things into perspective for people. Like you said, you don't even think about it. You just grab it, you pull it, and you get what you get, and you keep it moving. And it's a thought. It's almost like you go, you know, the brain goes on autopilot, so you don't even think about it. You just do it out of habit. You know you can do it, so you don't have to waste that brain capacity to think about, oh, man, what am I going to do to open the door? You just go, you open it. It's like sitting and standing, right? You sit, you stand, you don't even think about it. You just do, right? The brain just does, because you develop that habit, you develop that pattern, and your brain goes on autopilot. But for me, there's certain things that goes on autopilot, but there's certain things that don't, that don't. And so I have to just figure it out, man. So my whole life, brother, I've always had to learn how to adapt and adjust, not only physically when my body goes through a new phase of decreased mobility, but also mentally to be able to withstand, endure, and persevere the struggles that I have to go through on a daily basis.
But that also goes along the lines of when you talk about in your book, like there are times, and this correlates to everybody because we all go through this. There are times when you don't even much feel like getting out of bed. It's like I just don't want to get up today. It's just not worth it to get up today because I've already lost my job. I've already lost a relationship. I already lost whatever it is that I held dear to me is gone now. So there's no reason for me to get out of bed. And it's just understanding your mindset and how you persevere through that and you get out of bed anyway, and you talk about your why. Give us a little bit more on that.
Yeah, exactly what you said, man. There's times where people are going through whatever they're going through in life, and they don't want to get out of bed. They're in their little pity party. They feel miserable. They feel depressed, upset, whatever the situation may be. And, there's times where people go through that, right? I go through that sometimes. But when I go through it, it's because I can still feel everything. I'm not paralyzed, so I can still feel everything. I can still move everything. And there's times, man, where my legs and my ankles, they get a little achy. My ankles get swollen sometimes. I'm Puerto Rican, so we eat a lot of adobo and sazon. So, that sodium sometimes, it be swelling up my ankles, man. But, there's times, seriously, there's times where my ankles are swollen, they're pulsing, and I just really need a day in the bed to just kind of keep my feet elevated and out the wheelchair. Because since I can still feel everything, you talk about being uncomfortable, man. I'm in this wheelchair sometimes 16, 17 hours a day, man.
Yeah.
And I can still feel everything. Thank God I got a pretty cool wheelchair that has a lot of technology on it that helps me to kind of, move around and things like that. But the reality is that sometimes I don't want to get out of bed, man. And on those days where I feel like I don't want to get out of bed, man, I'm thinking about my why. I'm thinking, and I have two whys. I don't know how many whys everybody else has, but I have two whys. My main why is my why number one is my wife.
Oh, Miss Inspire. I love her.
That's right. Mrs. Inspires, that's right. My wife, Mrs. Inspires, go follow her. She's amazing.
She's amazing.
And then my two sons, right? My two sons, Elijah and Zion. They're those three people are my why. That's why I wake up every single morning and attack life the way I do. That's why I wake up even when I don't feel like getting out of bed. That's why I get up anyhow, because they only eat what I kill. And if I don't get up and kill something, then they don't eat. So I got to get up every day to kill something so I can feed my family, right? And so, that's my first why. And then my second why is that I know that there's a calling on my life, and I know that there's a purpose on my life, and I know that there's a reason why I'm in this wheelchair. And when I was younger, man, I didn't understand that concept. I was always asking God, why me? Why did this happen to me? Mm-hmm. Why are you doing this to me? I was upset with God. I didn't want to have no parts of him. I didn't want to have nothing to do with him.
Wow.
And then when I started understanding that when you have a calling on your life and you have a purpose on your life, and you understand that in here, you understand that you were created on purpose and for a purpose, man, that changes the dynamic for you. And so when I started to understand, I may not know exactly why I was born like this. I may not know exactly why, I was stricken with this condition. But what I do know is that because I'm in this situation, I get to inspire and impact other people's lives.
Yes.
And with that comes a responsibility. With that comes a responsibility. So that's another reason why I wake up every single morning, is because I know that there's people that follow me, there's people that are watching me, that are people that are waiting for me to show up for life, because they're looking for that motivation, they're looking for that content, they're looking for that inspiration, they're looking for that breath of fresh air that I bring with the energy that I carry with myself.
Yes.
And they're looking for that messenger of hope, right? And so I like to say that I'm a messenger of hope. So that's why every single day I show up for life, because I know that there's people that are waiting for me to show up for life, because they're looking for that motivation, they're looking for that content, they're looking for that inspiration, they're looking for that breath of fresh air that I bring with the energy that I carry with myself. And they're looking for that messenger of hope, right? And so I like to say that I'm a messenger of hope. So that's why every single day I show up for life, because that's my second why. I know that there's people that are counting on me to show up, not only my immediate family, but people that, as an influencer, people that are following me, people that are looking towards me for you know, motivation, hope, inspiration, just to be that beacon of light in whatever dark situation they may be going through. And so that's why, man, one of my mentors told me, he said, Jose, every time you don't show up for life or put a piece of content or a post or a video or something, you're being selfish and arrogant. And I was like, ooh, you're going to step all over my feet like that?
Wow.
And he said, you're being selfish and arrogant. And that, for me, man, that, you know, that clicked in my head. And that really made me think, like, wow, like every day I don't show up, I'm letting somebody down. You know, I'm letting somebody down. And so for me, that doesn't sit well with me. So even on the days that I don't feel like getting out of bed, man, I get up anyhow. Or you know, there are days where I do stay in the bed because I really need to stay in the bed.
Right.
But even on those days, man, I got my cell phone, I got my laptop, I got my iPad. I'm doing something, putting a post up.
You taking phone calls?
I'm taking phone calls. I'm sending emails. I'm trying to do something, right? Because I know that there's people that are counting on me. And so that's my second why, man. That's, to answer your question, those are my two whys, and that's why I wake up every morning and do what I do.
I just want to give somebody a look. This is one of my favorite quotes out of the whole book. Out of many books. I mean, out of the whole book, this is the quote that got me. It says, "I was losing my ability to do lots of things physically, but I thank God I never lost my voice, my personality, or my sense of humor." Wow. Wow. What I mean, because you didn't start off like this. You started off walking and doing and stuff like that. And this is a gradual process. What do you have to tell yourself every day to keep going? Because there's a lot of people right now, I mean, the slightest thing that happened in their lives, they'll just be like, you know what? That's it.
I'm done.
I'm giving up. I can't do it. You know, I know God told me that I was supposed to start a business, but it's too hard. It's too difficult. I run into some money issues. Somebody told me no, and they just stop. But you just keep going. Keith was right. You're a mental beast. Now, explain to us, how do we become like that, man? How do we have that type of resilience?
You know, the thing is, man, people like you, Glastinne, you have choices, man. You have options. You know, you could choose whether you want to get out of, you know, sit or stand or open the fridge or not, or hop in your car. You know, you can choose that. So for me, I don't have that luxury to choose whether I want to or I don't. It's either, I was kind of forced into this position, right? Being born like this, there is no other option for me, right? It's either, I only had two options. Either you're going to settle and allow that wheelchair to defeat you and overcome you, and just sit and rot and die in that wheelchair, or you can use that wheelchair to your advantage and learn how to leverage that wheelchair and leverage your condition to make connections with people, to build relationships with people, to add value to people, to help lift other people up, right? With whatever they may be going through, right? Because I always like to say, my wheelchair is visible. I can't hide it. I can't put it in my pocket. I can't put it in my book bag. I can't put a mask on it. It just is what it is. But every single body that's watching this or listening to this, including yourself, Glastinne, we all have a wheelchair that we're carrying.
Yes.
And sometimes it's just invisible, right? We all have that wheelchair. And when I say wheelchair, I mean whatever that thing is whatever that thing is in your life that you struggle with, whatever that thing is in your life that is a hindrance to you, that feels like it's a limitation, that it's limiting you, or that's holding you back, right? No matter what it is, we all have that. We all have that. If we're honest, we all have that. Now, one of the ways to overcome that is by accepting what it is, recognizing and realizing what that is, and then figuring out a way to overcome it, figuring out a way to use that as leverage, figuring out a way to use it as to your advantage, right? And again, it's stuff that I had to learn through going, you know, years and years and years of not being the mindset disruptor, right? But allowing this to defeat me. And once I made that choice that said, I'm not going to let this wheelchair defeat me. I'm not going to let this wheelchair define me. And I'm not going to let this wheelchair dictate my destiny. Man, my life has never been the same, brother. And that's how I get out of bed every single day. That's how I keep pushing forward. You know, for me, I was kind of forced into this situation. But again, with learning how to adapt and adjust, I've been able to develop, you know, personal development, mindset, growth mindset, resilience, tenacity, perseverance, endurance, stamina. I'm going to be honest with you, Glastinne. There's times, man, where I get frustrated, brother. Where I get frustrated, where I get overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I feel you.
You know, I get emotional sometimes because I'm human,
it's all right? It's all right.
I get frustrated and I get overwhelmed sometimes that I even have to deal with this, man. Like, why should I have to even deal with this, man?
Yeah.
Like, you know, when I was younger, man, I felt like I was never given a fair shot at life.
Right.
I started out in the red, man.
Yeah.
And so, but again, man, it's just that mindset that says, no matter what, man, I'm going to keep pushing through. No matter what, I'm going to keep going forward. No matter what, I'm not going to stop until I win. And I have my down days, man. Just the other day, man, I had a down day because I was trying to do something with my arms and my arm kind of kept giving out on me and I was getting frustrated and overwhelmed. And I'm like, man, why do I have to, you know, sometimes I just shout, man. I'm like, why do I got to go through this?
Nice.
But the reality is, man, is that it's hard, man. It's very hard to live the type of life that I live. And so for me to be here with you guys today and sharing, you know, how I became the mindset disruptor, to me, man, it's an honor and a privilege. And it gets me excited. This is what fires me up, brother. This is what fires me up every single day, to be able to come out here into the world, whether it's virtual or in person, and share with the world, man, that we all have the ability, man. Listen closely if you're watching this. We all have the ability to learn more, do more, and become more. And once you grab a hold of that and you understand that, your life is never going to look the same. You know, I always say that when your mind is expanded and exposed to new dimensions of understanding and new dimensions of knowledge and information, you can never go back, bro.
Never.
You can never go back.
Never.
And so what I've done is I've turned my brain into a sponge, man, and I've consumed massive amounts of information. And I love reading. I love watching lives that I'm, you know, connected with, podcasts, YouTube videos. Like, I love learning, man. I'm a student of life. But, you know, and you hear them say that knowledge is the new currency, right? Knowledge is power. But they leave a little part out of that, man, because it's not, you can have all the information, man, but you have to be able to apply it, man. It's applied knowledge is currency. You can have all the information you want, right? We all have Google, which has all the information right in our pockets, but there's still people that are broke out there, right? So you can have all the information, but if you're not applying that, then what good is it? So what I do, what's been successful for me and beneficial to me is, man, when I get a piece of information that I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I could probably use that in my business. I could use that in my company. I could use that for a piece of content. I could use that to inspire somebody. I'm taking that and I'm cutting it, chopping it, mixing it, and doing what I need to do to be able to put it out into the universe and create content with that so that it's uplifting people, right? So it's uplifting people, because I'm a firm believer, man, that you have to apply the information that you're getting. And I'm an executioner, brother. I execute on a lot of things, man. That's why, I mean, meeting Les Brown and having him write the forward to the book, traveling on tour with Les Brown, throwing my own events, writing my own books. I just became a contributor to Entrepreneur Magazine. I've been featured in Entrepreneur Magazine. My book, that one that you're holding up, just made the USA Today, Forbes, and Yahoo Finance top 20 books to read this summer in 2020.
Yes, it
2020 is
did.
going down
Yes,
in the
it
books,
did.
man.
Yes, it
2020
did.
is a year that's going down in the books. And so for me to be able to reach that accolade is just amazing, bro. And it's just another part of the legacy that I get to leave when I'm long gone, brother.
You know what? I wanted to. I really want to share this before we let you go, because I know you're on time constraints. I want to talk about the power of one, because that part was so powerful to me. I mean, I couldn't put your book down. It's not Jose's book is an easy read, but it just grabs you, because it just, I was embarrassed after I finished reading some of Jose's book, because there are some things that we take for granted, y'all. We take for granted so many things. We take for granted. And Jose doesn't even have a choice to take those things for granted. And the way he has to encourage himself, and we're going to get to that part so I can give you guys some practical steps, what he uses to encourage himself. But talk about the power of one, brother, where that came from and how you use it to change your life and other people's lives.
Yeah, man. So the power of one is a powerful analogy that I created and developed, man, because what causes my condition is a deficiency in our human, and on the human muscle we have what's called the survival motor neuron. It's called S.M.N. for short. So we have two S.M.Ns. We have S.M.N.1 and S.M.N.2 that causes the muscle to function and grow accordingly and properly, right? The way that it was created to grow and function. So you have an S.M.N.1, survival motor neuron 1, and survival motor neuron 2. Mm-hmm. So what causes what I have is one deficiency in the S.M.N.1. There's a deficiency. That's why I can still feel everything. That's why I can still move everything. But it's, as I get older, my body gets weaker, because there's one deficiency in that survival motor neuron. And I always say that one thing that's off, that one off, causes me to live this type of lifestyle. Mm. It causes me to live a different type of lifestyle than most people. It causes me to struggle. It causes me to have to push forward. It causes me to, you know what I mean, develop myself, right? I have the choice to do that. And so it causes me to think about a lot of things. And so I like to say, and that's a disruption, man. That one small deficiency causes a massive disruption in my entire body. Mm. Think about that. One small, bro, it's a neuron. You can't even see it with your eye.
Yeah.
That's in my body, that's deficient, that causes a disruption in my entire body.
Entire body.
And causes me to live a different type of lifestyle than most people. Mm. And so I like to say that in life, we are faced with one choice or one decision that can totally disrupt your entire life.
Yes. Yes.
One choice or one decision that you make can totally disrupt your entire life.
Yep.
So I heard a quote that says that many people are born into poverty, but staying in poverty is your own choice.
Yep.
Right? It's a choice, and all it takes is one. Mm-hmm. The choice is yours. You got to make up your mind. You have to decide. You know, one of my mentors, Tim Grover. You know who Tim Grover is?
Oh yeah, yeah. Tim Grover, the one who was working with Kobe and all them. Yeah.
Kobe, Michael Jordan. He just did the Netflix documentary, The Last Dance, with Michael Jordan.
Yep.
So he's one of my mentors. I know him personally, and he did a testimonial for me
in your book.
In the book, and he said that when the mind decides, listen to this. When the mind decides, everything else follows.
Yes.
When the mind decides, everything else follows. So if you decide, if you make up your mind and you decide you want to be successful, success is going to follow you. If you make up your mind that says that you want to become an author, you're going to become an author. If
Yes.
you say that you want to become a millionaire or a billionaire, if you do what is required, you will become that, right? Because when your mind decides, listen, I said I made a choice that I won't let this wheelchair defeat me, I won't let this wheelchair define me, and I won't let this wheelchair dictate my destiny. That was a choice I made. And every single day, man, I'm excited that I made that choice because I get to be around amazing people such as yourself, Glastinne. I get to inspire and impact people in my community. I'm personal friends with the mayor of my community. I just spoke for the city officials in my city. And I'm active, man. I'm involved. So like you said earlier, man, don't let the wheelchair fool you, man.
Don't get it
Because
twisted.
because I am a man who makes choices and decisions on a daily basis. And one choice in the decision that you will never see me make is a decision to give up.
Mm. Drop the mic, y'all. Drop the
That's
mic.
it, man.
Drop the mic. Drop the mic. It's over. You see why they call him the mental beast? Jose will not give up, man. That's what I love about him. He has that. One of the greatest things that I love about Jose is go to his IG and follow Jose, because I just want you to see the love that him and his wife share. I just want you to see that love, because his wife has to have a different mindset also. She has to make choices because she made a choice. Because at one point in time, Jose was afraid to even have somebody in his life because he was like, man, I'm in the wheelchair. I don't want to burden nobody and all this stuff. But he had to make that choice, and his wife had to make a choice and say, hey, I don't care about that. I care about you. Just tell us a little bit about that. I just want to hear about that love story. Just a little bit.
Yeah, man. My wife is a freaking rock star, man. And I mean, she's definitely heaven sent. She's an angel on earth in my life. And, you know, she met me in a wheelchair. So It's not like she met me when I was able to walk and then I got in a wheelchair. She met me in a wheelchair.
Wow.
We actually used to work together for a corporate company, and that's how we met. We were on the same team, and we became friends. And then, you know, one thing led to another, and I built up the courage, man, and asked her to be my Valentine, and we celebrated that, and that was 20 years ago.
Wow.
And so we just celebrated our 13-year anniversary of being married last month. We got married on 7/7/7.
Wow.
And yeah. And so I always talk about my wife, man, because she's amazing. You know what I'm saying? And if you guys that are watching, that have been hanging on this long with us, I appreciate you guys. Check out my website, joseinspires.com. There's a cool video on the website that kind of shows you a behind the scenes of what my wife and I have to go through just for me to get out of bed in the morning. So it shows you the process we have to go through. So go check that out, joseinspires.com. But, you know, we met, and like you said, man, she's a rare breed, brother. Because nobody, you know, and I talk about this openly, man. There's not too many women out there, bro, that would voluntarily say, hey, I'll sign up to marry that guy in a wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? That's just reality, bro. There's not many women out there that are doing that. You know, most of them have maybe been with a guy and then he got into an accident or something happened and they stayed with him. But she met me like this, bro. And like you said, she made a choice. And she said, I don't care about that. I see you as a man and I love you as a man. And if that comes with you, then I'll take that too.
Wow. Yo, y'all gotta go check Jose out. And here's the final question, Jose, because I just wanted to get you this. His wife is just such a beautiful soul, inside and out. I love her hair. Let her know I said that. Love the hair. And
you know what's funny is that a lot of people recognize us as the couple, the girl with the hair and the guy in the chair. So we're known as the hair in the chair.
Oh, that is so funny, man. Whenever I see that hair, I'm like, wow. But Jose, if you had an opportunity to meet someone, your mentor, or in the past, somebody who has already passed away, somebody who's already dead, who would that person be? If you could just have an opportunity to sit down for an hour with that person and pick that person's brain, who would that person be for you?
All right, so I'm gonna give you, like, this is like an unconventional answer, but it would be Jesus Christ. I would love to sit down.
We got that answer already, but go ahead.
You got that already? Nah, I know. Yeah. But that's what it would be, man. And I can't wait till the day I have that opportunity. I'm always joking with my wife, like, man, when we get to heaven, I'm gonna ask God questions, and we're gonna have a long conversation. And you know how they say, like, a year is like a day is like 1,000 years. I was like, man, we're gonna be politicking for a couple thousand years, man. But anyhow, if I had an opportunity to get with somebody, man, it'd probably be somebody like an Albert Einstein, who was a genius of his day, or maybe even like a Warren Buffett, who's a financial guru. You know, one of those big, maybe a Jeff Bezos, somebody who has that unique type of mindset, that's built something amazing, that's left a legacy, like Einstein. The other two I mentioned, they're alive. Right, but when they're gone, they're leaving. They built things that when they're gone, it's going to be a legacy.
Yeah.
And so I'm all about, like, leaving legacy, man. And I know a lot of people, they'll say, like, well, you know, there's no such thing as legacy, because after, you know, 2 or 3 months, 2 or 3 years, 5 years after you're dead, nobody remembers you. And statistically, that's accurate. But you have the Martin Luther Kings, you have the Malcolm X's, you have the Einsteins, you have, you know, we can go down a laundry list of people who, from way back, George Washington, our first president, right? Right. We're still talking about him all these years later. So I believe there's a such thing as a legacy, right?
Right.
And maybe some people may forget you, but there's going to be people that will never forget you because of the way that you impacted their lives. And so for me, it would be one of those type of people. I have the privilege currently to pick up the phone and call Les Brown at any moment and just say, hey, what's up, Pops? I got this question, or I got this idea. What are your thoughts? Let me know. What do you think? Should I go? Should I not? Blah, blah, blah. And so that's a privilege in itself. I have one of the greatest of all times to do what I do on my phone and call him and say, hey, what's up, man? What do you think? What are your thoughts? And pick his brain, right? So that in itself, man, for me,
that's huge.
That's priceless.
Yeah, that's priceless.
That's priceless, because many people would be, you know, would give an arm or a leg to be able to have that option. So, but yeah, man.
I think Les Brown, and I want to say this to everybody, and I want to capture this on film. Les Brown is equally happy and honored to have you on the other line as well.
Absolutely.
And he states that because we know that Les Brown's been dealing with cancer for over 21 years now and other issues. I mean, Les Brown is a fighter, and I know that fighters need other fighters on their side. And you are that type of fighter. I mean, you are that type of indispensable, how you say it, fighter. And Les Brown needs you as much as you need him, brother. I'll tell you that. Yeah, man.
And he's told me that personally also. He actually calls me the motivator to the motivators. So yeah, man, absolutely. And I love that about him, you know, because, you know, some people get too high and they stay high, but Les Brown, man, he's one of the most down to earth, grounded individuals.
And he is big.
And he's huge.
They won't forget him. He will go down with Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar and all those stuff. Les Brown would not 100%.
If you Google right now, if you go to Google right now and you Google top motivational speakers, he pops up in the top 10. I guarantee you. I did it the other day. He pops up in the top 10.
Yeah.
And he's 75 years old. So I mean, there's no question about it. But I also wanted to drop this too, man, before you know, we wrap up. Yeah. My wife and I just finished writing a book together on marriage. Wow. And it's called What Real Love Looks Like.
Wow.
And that's going to be dropping Q1 of 2021, of 2021.
Nice.
Q1. So be on the lookout for that, because you think that book is fire, man. Yo, I tell my wife, you know that song from Neo and Fabulous, You Make Me Better?
Yeah.
So I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, hey, baby, I am in movement by myself, but we are a force when we are together.
I think she makes you look better too.
Oh, definitely, man. She definitely makes me look better. I mean, she completes me like never before, brother. And
Yeah,
yo, she just has a great personality. We joke all the time. We poke fun at each other. We try, and the best part about it is that we get to work together every day. We travel together, and it's not because she is my caretaker, right? She takes care of me,
right.
But I drive my own car. I go place. I'm independent. I go wherever I need to go on my own. I work, before I was an entrepreneur, I was working, driving back and forth to work on my own. So I'm independent, but she is my caretaker. But the beautiful thing is that we get to work together now and do what we love to do full time. We get to travel the world, impact lives. And with that book, man, it's going to be marriage retreats, marriage conferences, marriage seminars. So be on the lookout for that, because it's going to be amazing.
Man, I can't wait till you guys do the whole YouTube relationship thing, man. Because we need to see you on YouTube to see the backstory of what's going on behind the scenes. Sometimes.
I tell my wife that all the time, but the reality is that she's an introvert. I'm the extrovert. Okay. She's the introvert. So she doesn't like the cameras, the lights, camera, action. She that's not her. But little by little, she's getting a little more involved. And especially when we write this book, we're going to go on tour. We're going to be speaking on stages, speaking at churches, speaking at different events, throwing our own events. So, she's not afraid of it, but she just doesn't really enjoy it like I do.
Yeah, but she will.
Oh, yeah, she will.
She will.
Trust me, she will. And especially and listen, man, you think I have an amazing story, man?
Mm.
She's working on something that I can't reveal right now, but bro, my wife's story is incredible, bro. She had like her own personal story, like outside of me. She has an incredible story, and she's working on something. And when she releases that, man, it's gonna be something powerful, bro.
It's gonna blow
up. For men, for women, for families, for everybody, because it's definitely gonna blow up. Because she has a powerful way of communicating in her own way, and you'll see that when this book comes out, because we wrote it together, and you'll see when she's talking, and you'll see when I'm talking, because there is a difference between the way we write and speak, but you'll be able to tell. But man, and I always tell her, I'm like, man, babe, you are such a powerful speaker. You're a powerful communicator. You're an encourager. She motivates me, man. Like people are like, man, how do you do it? I'm like, my wife, man. She motivates me. She inspires me. She's my biggest fan. She's my best, beautifulest cheerleader. You know what I'm saying? She's always in my corner. She's pushing me, whether I want to be pushed or not. And so, she's just amazing, man. So give her a follow. Her handle is at Mrs. Inspires on Instagram. Yes,
and that's MRS Inspire. MRS
Inspires with an S at the end.
Inspires. Yeah, she is awesome. You see the beautiful lady with the beautiful hair. When you see that flaming hair, pinkish flaming hair, that's her.
Yeah.
You can't miss her.
Yeah, man.
You can't miss her. She's just an awesome. Her personality comes out. I want you guys to really follow her. I want you guys to follow Jose and really get into his stuff, because there are times when I don't feel like getting up, and I will go to Jose's Instagram page, and I'm going to tell y'all exactly what I do. I go to the puppy story, straight to the puppy story, and listen to him over and over again, trying to get that refrigerator open. And that what gets me up. Once I get that story in my head, I say, yo, Glastinne, there is no reason why you should be in bed. Let's go. So follow Jose. Thank you very much, Jose, for being my guest, man. Really appreciate you. Let's continue to work together and be leaders together, man. I will see you next time. All right, brother?
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, man. Have a great evening. God bless. And I'll see you at the top, man, because like Les Brown says, the bottom is overcrowded.
All right. Later, brother. All right, everybody. Be here next Wednesday when we have our next guest. I have a special guest for you next Wednesday. That will be at 8 o'clock. This was a special time for because we had to do some accommodation for Jose, because he's probably going into another interview. I think it's at 8:30 or something. So be here at 8:30. I mean at 8 o'clock next Wednesday. We have something very special for you. And I also want to drop this on you. My book is about to be released. It's called Bulletproof Glass. And I'm you guys are the first I'm even giving the title to. And I'm giving you half the title. That's the major title. The subtitle, I'm keeping that to myself. I'll give it to you in bits and pieces. Yeah, but look out for my book. That's coming soon. Look out for my post. I will be doing some heavy giveaways when I release that book. Sign it and all and everything. And so, hey, follow my man Jose. He's a great, great, great inspiration to me. He motivates me. He's always been there for me. I have his number on speed dial. I can call him up and be like, yo, Jose, help me out with this. I don't understand this. And he's always willing to help me. So go ahead and follow my brother Jose. He is worth it. Go ahead and follow his wife at Mrs. Inspires at Instagram. All right. All right. Until next Wednesday, thank you for being here, everybody. Really appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Peace. Hey, I know that was kind of heavy, but if you want to see more leadership tips like this that could take your leadership to the next level, click on this video right here, right next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.